Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gaur Premanandi. So welcome everyone to our Bhagavad Gita class. Let me move over here. No? So today we're reading from chapter 5. We need the mic. Okay, I'll sort it out now. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. So today we're reading from chapter 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, and we're reading from text 12. Is it in the board? Yes. Okay. So first we can recite prayers to the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll recite the verse line by line, and then you can all repeat after me. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishthiki ayukta kama karena phale sakto nipadhyate. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishthiki ayukta kama dakarena phale sakto nipadhyate. Yukta karma phalang tyaktva shantimapnoti naishthiki ayukta kama karena phale sakto nipadhyate. Somebody like to recite the shloka? Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishthiki ayukta kama karena phale sakto nipadhyate. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shantimapnoti naishthiki ayukta kama karena phale sakto nipadhyate. Okay, thank you. We'll do the word for word. Yukta, one who is engaged in devotional service. Karma phalam, the results of all activities. Tyaktva, giving up. Shantim, perfect peace. Apnoti, achieves. Naishtikim, unflinching. Ayuktaha, one who is not in Krishna consciousness. Kamakarena, for enjoying the results of work. Phale, in the result. Saktaha, attached. Nibadhyate, becomes entangled. So we read the translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Purport. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the results of his activities. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the results of his work. In the Bhagavatam, the cause of anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one's functioning in the conception of duality, that is, without knowledge of the Absolute Truth. Krishna is the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is a product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness, but one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Krishna is a platform of peace and fearlessness. So before attempting to speak on the Bhagavad Gita, I'd first like to offer my prayers to our spiritual teachers from whom we have received this knowledge. Om Jnana Timarantasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshururmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll read the verse once again. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Okay, so this is a nice verse here from the Bhagavad Gita. First of all, let me give a little summary. So this is chapter 5. Chapter 5 is entitled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. So this chapter, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna and telling him how he can act in this world in a way that he is not entangled. And so first of all, Krishna, he's telling Arjuna that while performing your activities, you should be detached from the result. You should just perform them out of duty, and you should dedicate the results of your work to me, and that way you'll never become entangled by your work. And in this verse, Krishna is saying that the steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of all activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. Yeah, so here, in this verse, Krishna is giving the result of one who acts without attachment to the fruits of his work, but just offers everything with devotion to the Lord. He says he attains unadulterated peace because he offers his results to me. But one who doesn't offer the fruits of his work, the results of his work to Krishna, but is greedy for the fruits of his labor, he becomes entangled in a sinful activity, in the laws of karma. Because if we don't act for Krishna, if we act for ourselves, then we become entangled in karma. Because for every activity we do, there's a reaction. And even if it's good, be it good or bad, we have to suffer or enjoy the results in this world. So that means we have to stay in this world And if we stay in this, as long as we stay in this world, it means we have to accept a material body, and we also have to accept all the conditions that come along with the material body, such as birth, death, old age, and disease, and so many other different miseries. There are also 3 kinds of miseries, like those caused by other living entities, like mosquitoes and different people who say bad things to us, envious people. And there are miseries caused by our own body and mind, like, sometimes our mind creates disturbances, sometimes our body gives us pain. And then there are also miseries caused by the higher living entities, like the demigods. For example, they cause like too much cold or too much rain or too little rain. So in this way, there are so many miseries in this world. So that's why Krishna, he says in another part of Bhagavad Gita, he calls this world Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. So he says this world is a place of misery. And why is it a place of misery? Because it's actually like a prison house. It's for those souls who didn't want to obey Krishna's instructions. They wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. So that's why this place is a place of miseries. So Krishna is saying that you don't need to stay here. You shouldn't stay here. This is actually not your real home. Your real home is in the spiritual world, and your real activity is to engage in the service of Krishna. And this alone can give you true happiness and satisfaction. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling us how we can get out of this world and we can go back to the spiritual world to enjoy eternal happiness. We don't have to keep on dying, getting old, getting diseased. Nobody wants these things, but these things, as long as we're in the material world, we have to go through this. So if we follow these nice instructions that Krishna is giving us in the Bhagavad Gita, by dedicating our activities to Krishna, then we become free from all karma, and we no longer are entangled or bound up in this world, but we can, at the end of this life, we can attain to the spiritual world. And so, these instructions of Bhagavad Gita are so valuable for us. For example, Krishna says that one who always thinks of me, he becomes my devotee, he worships me, and he offers me all the results of his activity with love. Then at the end of his life, he attains to me. So this is what Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. And specifically in this verse here, Krishna is talking about how we should offer the results of our work, and that in order to do this activity, then we need to have some knowledge of the Lord. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about how if we get transcendental knowledge, then we can understand that everything is actually Krishna, and then we won't be in anxiety over the dualities of this world. So in chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita is called Knowledge of the Absolute. So there Krishna, he explains, first of all, the process of receiving knowledge is hearing. In the first verse, Krishna says, Maya saktamana partha yogam yunja manashraya asamshayam samagramam yitha gyasasi tatcharnu. Tatcharnu means just hear from me. So Krishna is saying, just hear now, dear Arjuna, how by acting with attachment to me, dedicating your results to me, then you can know me in full, free from doubt. And so the first process of acquiring knowledge is hearing. So nowadays we're very proud of our senses, that we want to see everything. We want to, experience it with our senses. We want to, make experiments and see it directly. But our senses are very limited. Like, we can't see what's behind the wall because our eyes are limited. We can hear only, short distance. So, if there's no light, also we can't see. So our senses are very limited, and if we want to understand something that's not material, something that's spiritual, then we can't rely only on our material senses. So the best way to receive transcendental knowledge is to hear from authoritative sources, like Krishna speaking about himself in the Bhagavad Gita. That's the best way to know about Krishna. And then especially when it's explained by a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada, then we can understand this transcendental knowledge. And so when we understand this transcendental knowledge, then we understand that everything is Krishna's energy. It's like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate ite matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. That this everything animate and inanimate, everything has emanated from me, and there's nothing beyond me in this world. So everything is my energies, and they're all working under my direction. So everything, once we see everything in relation to Krishna, then we don't see duality. Only when we don't see things in relation to Krishna do we see that this is good, this is bad, like this. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami, he writes a nice verse. He says, Dvaite bhadra bhadragyan, e sabha mano dharma, e bhalo e mando, e sabha brahma. That to consider that this is good and this is bad, is all a mental concoction. That actually, if we realize that everything is Krishna's energy, everything is working under Krishna's direction, then everything is arranged for my benefit, for my spiritual advancement. So that's why intelligent people, they work for their eternal benefit. They take advantage of the wonderful instructions in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is explaining what our true identity is. First of all, isn't it, the most important question is, who am I? First of all, if we don't know who we are, then how can we determine what our purpose in life is, what will be good for us? So Krishna says in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita that we're the soul, we're the eternal soul. Dehinosmin yatha dehe, komaram yovanam jara, tatha dehandara praptir dhiras tatra namoyati. That as the embodied soul, we're passing through different kinds of bodies, just as we pass through from childhood to boyhood to youth to old age. Similarly, the soul is passing through different kinds of bodies. But one who understands that we're actually the eternal soul is not bewildered by such a change of bodies. So then, once we understand that we're the eternal soul, then we'll also be interested in doing something that's eternal, for our eternal benefit. Because everything that we're working for, most people are working for in this world, for example, money, power, position in society, have a nice family, get a nice house, a nice car. All of these things are temporary, and as soon as this body is over, they'll all be taken away from us, and we'll have to leave behind everything, our bank balance. Nothing will come with us at the time of death. So one who's intelligent, they will think like, let me work for something that is actually eternal, that I can actually keep with me, wherever I go. That, will help me wherever I go. So that is spiritual assets. Spiritual assets are eternal. And how do we accumulate spiritual assets? That is by spiritual practice, by devotional service. Spiritual means in relation to Krishna. So whatever we do for Krishna, that will give us eternal benefit. And that's also recommended by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, Neha bhikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate svabhamapyasya dharmasya trayate mathobayan. That in this endeavor, in devotional service, there is no loss or diminution, and even a slight advancement on this path of devotional service can save us from the greatest type of fear. Because by engaging in devotional service, Krishna saves us from all kinds of sinful reactions. Just like he says in the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, no, not the last, but one of the last later verses, 1866, he says, Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam raja am tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishami masucha. That just surrender unto me, and I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, by surrendering to Krishna, then we become free from sinful reactions. By engaging in his service, surrendering means to abide by Krishna's instructions, to accept him as a supreme Lord, and agree to abide by his instructions. And Krishna says what he wants us to do now. To always think of him, Manmana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijani priyosame. Manmana means always think of me. Krishna says, bhavamad bhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me, and mam namaskuru, offer your homage unto me, offer your obeisances to me. So if we agree to do these things, then Krishna says, I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So, and this is what this verse is talking about. Mahatobhayat means that we'll have to suffer sinful reactions. So by engaging in devotional service, then we become free from all this. So maybe you may be thinking like, I'm not very sinful. Why should I have to suffer? I'm a good person. But there are so many sins that we do even unknowingly. Like just by breathing, we're killing so many living entities. Just by walking on the ground, we're killing living entities. Every time we cook, we kill living entities. Even if we're vegetarians, still we have to kill the plants. And while cooking, we boil different, microbes. So all of these things we become responsible for, because in the eyes of the Lord, every living entity is equally as valuable, because as souls, we're all part and parcel of the Lord, and we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. As parents, we're equally affectionate to all kinds of all of our children. It doesn't matter if one is small or one is big, one is strong or one is weak. We're all equally affectionate. So similarly, Krishna, he loves all living entities equally, and so he doesn't tolerate us killing any living entities unnecessarily, even if they're small insects and like this. And so, but of course, that's why we should live trying to commit as less violence as possible. But it's not actually possible to be completely non-violent. That's why we have to perform sacrifice. We have to engage in devotional service to Krishna. And then we'll be free from all these sinful reactions that we commit even unknowingly. Otherwise, after death, we'll have to suffer for these. So this is, and this process is not difficult. The main process of that's recommended for this age is a chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting these holy names, then we become free from all sinful reactions. And not only that, the benefit of this chanting is that it also cleanses our heart of the desire to commit sinful activities, and it awakens our love for Krishna. So because ordinary ways of atonement, like there are different ways of atonement prescribed in the scriptures. Like if you do a certain sinful reaction, then you can do like this kind of austerity, and then you purify yourself like that. But the problem with these kind of processes is that it may free you from the sinful reaction that you would have to suffer, but it doesn't clean your heart. So then you would you'll still have the desire to commit the sinful activity again. It's just like a thief. Sometimes they're caught and they're put into prison, so they suffer, and then they're free from that offense, and then they're released again. But because they still have the desire in their heart, then they steal, and again they're caught and put in the prison. So in this way, this process keeps going on and on. But the beauty of the process of chanting the holy names is that it cleanses this desire from our heart altogether, so that we no longer desire to commit sinful activities. Instead, we develop a love for Krishna, and then we want to serve Krishna. We want to dedicate all of our activities to Krishna, and then it becomes a very joyful process. And this is what it's supposed to be, actually, how Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha Bhagamam Dharmam Susukam Kartumavyam. Susukam means very joyfully, that this process of devotional service is joyfully performed because it's performed with love for Krishna. So if you do something with love, then it's a pleasure to do something for something with love. Like if you love somebody, then you want to cook. You want to cook for them. You want to make something nice that they will enjoy. And so whatever trouble it takes to cook is not actually seen as a trouble by you. You enjoy doing some sacrifice for the person because you're imagining how they will be pleased by your efforts. And so this is the wonderful process of Krishna consciousness, is to develop our love for Krishna. And that's actually the aim of everything we do, is to try to awaken our love for Krishna. So by reading the Bhagavad Gita, we get to appreciate, what wonderful instructions Krishna is giving to us, how much assurance He's giving to us. And then when we've completed the Bhagavad Gita, then there's also the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very wonderful book. We see the Bhagavad Gita like this. So this is one book, and the Bhagavatam, it's 18 books like this. So it's a long book, but that book is very wonderful because it describes all different pastimes of the Lord. And by reading how the Lord, He interacts with His devotees, how merciful He is, and how all the devotees, they're serving Him with love, and how by practicing this process of devotional service, they also attain to the highest perfection. So then we also develop great faith in the process. We develop a desire to also serve the Lord like that, and we also start to develop our love for the Lord. So by chanting the holy names of the Lord, by praying to the Lord, by reading about the Lord, then we develop our love. And then gradually, even though in the beginning it may seem like, these processes are troublesome because we don't have much love for the Lord, as we keep on practicing them with determination and with faith, then we'll develop love for the Lord, and then the process of devotional service becomes very blissful and very joyful. And then we see how devotees, they dedicate their life fully to the service of the Lord. So this is the wonderful process of Krishna consciousness that is being described here. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he speaks about how this is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence besides Krishna is the platform of peace and fearlessness. So there's a very wonderful tape recording. It's one of the last sentences that Srila Prabhupada recorded while he was on this planet, because Srila Prabhupada, he was translating the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he started at a very late age when he was 70. So but he was so enthusiastic to complete the Bhagavatam that even while he was lying on his deathbed, he kept on translating this Bhagavatam, because he knew that this was such an important book for the world to have. And so you can actually see there's like video recordings of Srila Prabhupada translating the Bhagavatam, and this is one of the last sentences that Srila Prabhupada, he recorded. That's recorded of Srila Prabhupada. He says, everything moving and non-moving is nothing but Krishna. So if we just realize this, that everything is Krishna's energy, and everything is arranged for Krishna, and then this will give us peace. And this is explained also by Krishna at the last verse of this chapter. It's a very famous verse, 529. It's Bhoktaram Yagitapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvbhutanam Gyatva Shantim Richati. This verse is called like the peace formula. So what is this verse saying? It's saying the three things. That a person who knows Krishna as the supreme Lord of all demigods and all planets, one who knows the Lord as the supreme enjoyer, the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices, and one who knows the Lord as the supreme friend, best friend of all living entities, then he attains peace. Because normally people, they become anxious about like whether I'm going to be happy or whether I'm going to be sad, am I going to be able to be successful or like this. But if we understand that actually it's not about my happiness, we should just be concerned about Krishna's happiness, because Krishna is actually the real enjoyer. And if we understand that, then we won't be in anxiety, because it's very easy to please Krishna. We just dedicate our activities, whatever we do, we dedicate to Krishna, whether it's a success or a failure. We just try our best and dedicate the results to Krishna. So we don't need to be anxious about the outcome, because we know that the outcome is in Krishna's hands. And so we just try our best and to think of Krishna and dedicate our results to Krishna, our activities to Krishna, and chant His holy names. So all of these things are very easy to do. There's nothing to be anxious about that. And also, if we realize that Krishna is our best friend and He's a supreme controller, so then He's controlling everything for us. and He's making all arrangements for our benefit. So we don't need to be anxious about the future, about what will happen to us. So this is the peace formula that's described in the Bhagavad Gita very nicely. And we see in the example of the lives of the devotees, there are many examples. We see here, as Srila Prabhupada, he says that they're not engaged in profit calculation. Yeah, because where is it here in the purport? Yeah. So it says, therefore activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. But one who is entangled in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. Yeah, so we can see in the devotees, they're not anxious for calculating profit, because they know that whatever I'm supposed to enjoy, that's already allotted to me according to my karma. Whatever I'm supposed to get in material life, I'm going to get anyway. So there's no use to work hard for that. Rather, I should dedicate the majority of my time and energy for working for my spiritual life, which will actually give me eternal benefit. So we can see, like in the life of Kolavecha Sridhar, he was a very poor brahmana who was a great devotee of the Lord, and he didn't bother much about his maintenance. He had his little shop. He used to sell bananas, and every day Lord Chaitanya would come and take his bananas, and Lord Chaitanya would always try to get him to give a cheaper price. But Kolavecha Sridhar said, no, this is my price. If you like it, you take my bananas, otherwise you can go. But all the time Lord Chaitanya, he would keep on coming to him, because he knew that he was a great devotee, and so he liked to be with him and to interact with him. So and then actually one day, Lord Chaitanya, who was so pleased with Kolavecha Sridhar, he said, please come here and ask me for any benediction. So the Supreme Lord is asking you to ask for some benediction. So he could have asked for anything, in the world. He could have asked for a mountain of gold or anything. But he didn't. He was not interested in that, because he knew that that's not that's not what will give me true happiness. So what did he ask for? He said, my dear Lord, I only wish that you keep on coming to my stall and stealing my bananas. Because he enjoyed so much seeing the beauty of the Lord and having the Lord interact with him. So this is what he asked for. So from this we can see that actually the greatest happiness is derived in association of the Lord, by serving the Lord. And so, this is also what we should try to attain in our life. And the best way we can practice spiritual life is by chanting the holy names of the Lord, reading the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, and coming to the temple, as you all are doing so nicely, associating with the devotees. And by coming together and encouraging each other and chanting the holy names together, hearing together, this is the best way we can increase our love for Krishna and advance in our devotional service. So we have a few minutes left now. Would anybody like to ask any questions, share anything, share any comments? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so if I got your question right, you're asking how can we like remember to dedicate all of our activities throughout the day to Krishna? Okay, so yeah, that's why it's important to at least start the day in Krishna consciousness. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he arranged this morning program, which is like, he packed a lot of Krishna consciousness into it, so that this will then carry us throughout the day in Krishna consciousness. So first of all, we get up early, and then we chant the holy names of the Lord. We come and pray to the deities of the Lord, and so we see the forms of the Lord, and then our mind is already, fixed with the impression of the Lord. And then, we chant, and then we hear about the Lord from the Bhagavatam class, and then we again get inspired to rededicate our day to Krishna. And then, so then by this way, then, by giving us a strong foundation early in the morning, then this will help us remain Krishna conscious throughout the day. And then also again, Prabhupada wanted that we all get together again in the evening and, remember the Lord again by coming together, chanting and hearing like Bhagavad Gita class. So in this way, Prabhupada called it, I don't know if Prabhupada called it, but I've heard devotees say it's like a sandwich program, where we have like the morning and the evening we consciously dedicate to Krishna, and then throughout the day, then it helps us to remain Krishna consciousness. And also, by chanting the names of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya, he said, Kirtaniya Sadahari, like we should constantly chant. So as much as possible, we should just try to keep on chanting the Lord's holy name, whatever we're doing, like, whether we're walking here or there, or like if we're cleaning, anything, we can chant the holy names of the Lord, and then naturally we also remember the Lord like that. Yeah, thank you, Krishna. Anybody else? Okay, then we can stop here. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna. There's a lunch prasadam being served now in the Haveli. You can all take prasadam. Hare Krishna.